Hello, hello, hello. This is Attorney Mike Gravelin coming to you from Chicago. As usual, as you can see, I actually had a court appearance, so you get the full attorney effect. I thought I'd throw the glasses on just to completely nerd out for a minute and freak out some of my usuals. I've had enough of this. All right, let's get to it. I usually only wear those when I'm driving, honestly. Um, we got a fun clip today. Old Squishy Gardner hooked me up again. It's in Judge Olsaver's courtroom, and it's really interesting. The whole clip is about 20 minutes, and you'll see the progression of it. Yeah, I think I might. I'll put it in the description. He's like the least annoying sovereign citizen of all time. I thought I'd seen it all. This is truly it. Tell me what you think in the comments or in the chat or something. If you agree with me, as this progresses, he kind of casually throws out. It takes him a while to wind up, but then he just kind of casually throws out soft sit defenses, but he doesn't mean it, and in substance, he's doing everything that needs to happen for the case to progress. He is represented, and he just kind of throws out bad ideas at meaningless times where it doesn't matter. It's just kind of fascinating to see. Let's get this party started, shall we?
And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, or the dogs get it.
Okay, we are back on record in the people of the state of Michigan versus Levi Max Scroggins, found in 21-20635-FH and 21-20636-FH. I do now have an amended information for each file. In the 635 file, the amended information now includes...
Chris, you're going to start early, huh?
Okay, so Ms. Muir, the amended information in the 635 file has two count twos.
I do love Florida.
One is controlled substance use, methamphetamine, and the other's license suspended.
Okay. I can get her to change that quickly unless the court will accept a verbal amended on the record.
Just 1 second here.
I would just, if the court accepts it verbally and Mr. Glazier, I would just change the DWL second to count 3. But if not, I can have Ms. Wright correct
that's
that.
Fine. That's fine.
So what we'll need to do is count 2 on the original information was the driving while license suspended second. So that's going to have to remain count 2. It's the controlled substance use of methamphetamine that's going to have to be count 3.
Okay. I'm fine if the court wants to make that pen change on the amended and note it on the record.
All right, so we will do that then. Any issue with that, Mr. Glazier?
I don't know.
No issue, Your Honor. We agree to that.
Okay, and then the 636 file.
It was a
now has the amended information in that file has an added count 2, which is attempted bringing contraband into a prison. Mr. Glazier, does Mr. Scroggins wish to have either of those informations read?
No, Your Honor, we waive the reading of those and indicate that he is going to plead on the one file to the use of methamphetamine and the driving while license suspended second offense, with the understanding that the felony would be dismissed and the habitual offender would be dismissed. On the other file, he is pleading to the added count of attempted bringing contraband into a prison, with the understanding that the habitual offender would be dismissed at the time of sentence. And it was also agreed that there would be a killabrew, that there'd be no upfront jail time on either of those files.
Thank you.
But that does indicate, it would indicate that he could get jail or prison if he were to violate his probation at a later point in time.
All right, and Ms. Muir, that is the people's agreement, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Scroggins, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty for perjury?
I do.
And you are Levi Max Scroggins, correct?
Correct.
Thank you, Super Secret Squirrel.
Mr. Scroggins, you've heard the statement of your attorney and the prosecuting attorney. Is it your intention to plead guilty today in file number 21-20635-FH to count 3 on the amended information, controlled substance use of methamphetamine?
Correct.
And is it your intention to plead guilty today in file number 21-20636-FH to count 2 on the amended information, attempted bringing contraband into a prison?
Correct.
Are you satisfied with Mr. Glazier and the advice that he's given?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. We're going through this, and yeah, we had to amend charges, but I wanted to have the build up for you guys. But have you ever seen a sovereign citizen answer direct questions, be represented, and make sense? Yes, he says some silly things before it's over, and it's fun. But in substance, he's just going along with the procedure.
Do you understand that the maximum penalty for the use of methamphetamine charge is up to 1 year in jail?
Yes.
You understand that the maximum penalty for the attempted bringing contraband into a prison charge is up to 2.5 years in prison?
Yes.
Other than, as we've discussed on the record here this morning, neither the prosecutor, defendant, or anyone acting on the defendant's behalf has discussed a possible sentence with the court. Is that correct, Ms. Muir?
That's correct.
Mr. Glazier?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Is that also your understanding, Mr. Scroggins?
It is.
If a guilty plea is accepted, there will be no trial. That means you'll be giving up the rights that you would have had at trial, and explain those rights to you now to make sure that you understand them. You do have the right to a speedy public trial by jury. You could ask for a non-jury trial, and if the prosecutor and the court agreed, you could have a non-jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, and you do not have to prove anything. You have the right to be present at your trial, to have the witnesses against you appear at your trial, and to ask those witnesses questions. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses that you have for your defense to appear at your trial. You have the right to remain silent during your trial and not have that silence used against you. However, you also have the right to testify at your trial if you wanted to testify. Do you understand, Mr. Scroggins, that if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to appeal issues that would otherwise be appealable if you were convicted at a trial?
He's established it to my satisfaction.
I do.
You understand that any appeal from the conviction and sentence pursuant to this plea or these pleas would be by application for leave to appeal and not by right?
I do.
You are not a citizen of the United States of America. Conviction of a crime can result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States of America, or denial of naturalization. You understand all of those rights, Mr. Scroggins?
I do.
And do you understand that you're giving those rights up?
Yes.
How do you wish to plead then to the charge that on or about November 26, 2020, in Madison Township, Lenawee County, Michigan, that you did commit the offense of controlled substance use of methamphetamine?
Guilty.
And how do you wish to plead in file number 21-20636-FH that on or about April 16, 2021, in Lenawee County, Michigan, that you did commit the offense of attempted bringing contraband into a prison?
Guilty.
Has anyone made any threats or promises to you to induce you to plead guilty to those charges?
Outside of what's been previously stated today, no.
And by that, do you mean the plea agreement that you have entered into?
Yes. The Killaburu that Mr. Glacier previously spoke on.
I mean, this is what's surprising about this one, and that's why I had to show it, even though it was a bit slow. This guy has responded to everything appropriately, to the point. In fact, intelligently, he just mentions the Killabrew plea. Thus far, he's done nothing wrong, and then he goes off on his little rant, but it's meaningless. It's kind of fun, but I've never seen a sovereign citizen do this before.
Okay. Do you understand that if I accept the plea, you will be giving up any and all claims that the plea is given as a result of threats or promises that were not disclosed to the court on the record here this morning, or that it was not your own choice to enter the plea?
Correct.
Other than, as we've discussed on the record here this morning, has your attorney promised you any other particular sentence or estimated what your sentence will be?
No.
Is it your own choice to plead guilty today?
It is.
Mr. Glazier, would you like to establish the factual basis?
Yeah, Phoebe, was he pleading to the part of that, the DWLS second as well?
Yes.
Yeah, we need to get it. Mr. Scroggins, you understand that you were also charged with driving while license suspended as a second offense on that one file?
We went over that. He agreed.
He did? Okay.
All right.
All right.
So
Yeah.
I didn't cover that with him that was my mistake because I didn't understand that.
This is what I like. He's pleading guilty to trying to deliver a controlled substance to a prison, but he's of course going to take issue with driving while suspended.
To be,
Yeah, I thought that.
so I did not cover that with him.
I thought we talked about that before. I'm sorry.
We
I
did. He
think-
just didn't take
I
the
think
plea
that
on it.
Yeah, I think that you did, and I think that I did miss it. So there are a few things I need to cover with Mr. Scroggins before we do
Okay.
this. Let me just do that now. So that was the 635 file.
Yeah.
Mr. Scroggins, is it also your intent to plead guilty today, Mr. Scroggins, to count 2 in file number 21-20635, which is operating a license suspended, revoked, or denied?
Yeah, I've never received a driver's license ever in life, so I've never had to chauffeur anyone in my life. Only thing I've ever had to do is transport me and myself to work,
All right.
which I do believe is the right to travel.
Oh, how did that get in there?
But that's a whole nother topic.
So is it your intention to plead guilty to that charge today?
If that is what's part of the plea,
It is, Levi.
Okay, so right there, he says his silly soft sit thing, where he says, all right, the judge, who I really do like this judge, he's very calm, but he said, all right, well, do you want to plead guilty to it or not? And the defendant's response is intelligent. Well, is that a condition of my Killabrew plea? It is. Okay, fine, then I'll plead to it.
So is it your intention to plead guilty to that today, Mr. Scroggins?
I suppose.
Do you understand that that offense is a misdemeanor and the maximum penalty for that offense is up to 93 days in jail?
I do now.
So noted.
Do you understand that with respect to that offense, all of the rights and everything else that I've said as we've gone through your plea and the other 2 charges would apply to this charge?
Okay.
Judge shook it is close enough. I agree.
How do you wish to plead then to the charge that on or about November 26, 2020 in Madison Township, Lenawee County, Michigan, you did commit the offense of operating a motor vehicle while your license is suspended, revoked, or denied?
Yeah, I was definitely driving that day.
I need you to say guilty or not guilty for your plea.
Yes, guilty.
Do And has anyone made any threats or promises to induce you to plead guilty to that charge?
I do believe this is covered under the Killebrew as well, correct?
Correct. So other than the plea agreement that you've reached, has anyone made any other threats or promises to you to induce you to plead guilty to that charge?
Yay.
There should be some good videos on that somewhere. Thank you.
And you understand that if I accept that plea, again, you're giving up any and all claims that the plea was given as a result of threats or promises that were not disclosed to the court on the record here this morning.
Correct.
Is the prosecutor or defense counsel aware of any promises, threats, or inducements other than the plea bargain to induce the defendant to plead guilty to that charge?
No, Judge.
Oh, Your Honor.
Mr. Scroggins, with respect to the operating while license suspended, revoked, or denied, has your attorney promised you any particular sentence or estimated what your sentence would be? Again, other than as we've discussed your agreement on the record here today.
No, Your Honor.
Is it your own choice to plead guilty to that charge?
It is.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Glazer, now would you like to establish a factual basis for those offenses?
Yes, Levi, on November 26th of 2020, you were here in Ludwig County, state of Michigan. Is that correct?
Yes.
And on that
Exactly,
date, you got
Tommy.
pulled over by the police. Is that true?
Correct.
And on or about that date, actually not on that date, but either right near that date, you had been using some methamphetamine. Is that correct?
Yes.
You also were driving without a license. Is that correct?
Yes.
In fact, you've never had a license. Is that true?
Yes.
And this was a second offense. You had prior driving while license suspended convictions. Is that correct?
Sure. Yes.
All right. Then on April 16th of 2021, you again were here in Ludwig County, state of Michigan. Is that correct?
Yes.
In fact, you were being arrested and taken into the jail. Is that true?
It is.
And at that time, you had some methamphetamine that was in your, I think it was in your underwear or in your underwear band or something like that. Is that true?
I'm not sure what they have down. It was.
But it was on your person. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you knew it was there and you knew it was methamphetamine. Is that true?
Sure.
And you never disclosed that to the officers, and they, as you were being taken into the jail or being put into the jail. Is that correct?
I tend to reciprocate what is sent out. Correct.
What's that?
I tend to reciprocate the vibes that are put towards me back to the sender.
That's my favorite. I tend to reciprocate the vibes that are put towards me. I get it. I don't even really have a problem with it philosophically. However, this is not the moment to get out your law of attraction nonsense. We're in court. He's asking a question. He's trying to do a factual basis, and you've got a great plea deal. Stop with that. But he does.
I understand, but you never disclosed that you were taking it into the jail at that point. Is that correct?
I didn't know it was on me. No.
Oh, yeah, you did.
It was definitely on me. I seen it hit the ground. I was probably more shocked than anybody else in the room.
All right. I don't have any other questions.
Back to the 635 file. When you were driving your vehicle, was that on US 223?
I was traveling, correct?
On US 223?
It was an interpacked highway, yes.
Okay. And you had no prescription or any other lawful authority to have methamphetamine, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then back to file 636. That jail that you were going into, was that the Lenawee County Jail?
Yes, a private owned facility. Correct. That would be.
And you agree that that methamphetamine was a controlled substance that you had on your person?
I didn't personally test it.
Do you have any reason to disagree that it's methamphetamine?
Your Honor, we would stipulate for the record that we did get a lab report back, and it was in fact methamphetamine.
I'm satisfied with the factual basis, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mike.
Outdated.
All right, Mr. Scroggins, I previously advised you that the maximum penalty on the driving with license suspended charge is up to 93 days in jail. This actually had a second or subsequent offense notice. So you understand that is still a misdemeanor, but the maximum possible punishment for that would be 1 year in jail rather than the 93 days because of the second offense.
Thank you, Chris.
I'm aware of it now.
All right, and do you still want to move forward with your plea and enter that as a guilty plea?
Sure.
All right, has the court complied with MCR 6.302 B, C, and D, Ms. Wise? I'm sorry, Ms. Muir.
Yes.
Mr. Glazier.
Yes, it has, Your Honor.
All right, I will accept the plea then, the pleas that they have been given understandably, voluntarily, and accurately. Defendant has full knowledge of his rights. He has had competent counsel. Court, other than as we have discussed on the record here this morning, has not made any other agreement regarding the possibility of a plea or possible sentence in this case with the prosecutor, defense attorney, defendant, or anyone acting in the interest of any of them. I will refer this matter to the probation department for a pre-sentence investigation, and we will set sentencing for April 8th at 8:15 a.m. Mr. Scroggins, someone from the probation department will be in touch with you to do a pre-sentence investigation interview. When you do that interview, please be truthful about these offenses and about your background.
Absolutely.
I will continue bond as it is currently set.
Your Honor, I'm gone that week.
All right.
I'll be back the Monday after that.
So let's go then with April 14th. Also at 8:15 a.m.
Okay.
Bond will be continued as it's currently set. And we have Mr. Jones here from the probation office that needs to get some information from you, but
Well, there you have it. I thought I'd never see it. He spouts his subset nonsense, but with no effect. Well, it never has any effect, but he doesn't try to disrupt the proceedings. He's wise enough to realize he's got a great deal under the circumstances. And he wants the Killebrew plea to go through. So he ends up pleading guilty at everything. I mean, for instance, he just sits there and enters a guilty plea to driving while suspended and then fusses about it after the fact, after the plea's been taken. And well, it's over. You can say whatever you want. You just pled guilty to it. I just thought that one was interesting. I wanted to squeeze that in before the Kim Blandino madness started. I actually was on last night with Natalie. It was fun. We caught the tail end of Blandino from yesterday. That was a lot of fun. I'm not sure if I'll hop back on with that or not. Oh, hi, Artie. I see Artie in there. He was doing something. He might have something going today. But thank you all for coming out. Oh, wait. We've got a new one. Okie Smoky, $10. Thanks for content. Have a good day with the doggos. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys coming out. Enjoy Kim Blandino. Probably something fun will happen over there during the course of the day.